it is 50% more or less than 50%. Now it is coming in adjuvant, new adjuvant. I think in 2030 we may be discussing taking vaccine shots of immunotherapy in normal patient to avoid CA lung. That may be possible in next 5-10 years also. So jokes apart, we have many options in metastatic NSCLC in first line of immunotherapy combinations. We have option of pembrolizumab, we have option of atezolizumab, and we have option of nivolumab, and now we have option of nivo plus IP combination. So if my concept is, I want to say that if we add more drugs like in ABCP, or if we add more chemotherapy and immunotherapy, obviously the response rate will be better, and there will be better initial response rate. But in CA lung now we have so many treatment options. So for me, the best option will be when we will be able to sequentially use the most number of drugs, and we can increase the survival. We may have little bit less response rate in first line, but if the overall survival by sequencing all the drugs increases, that will be a better option. When patient comes to us and when he says that the immunotherapy can be taken and there are no cost constraints, then we have so many options. We also get sometimes confused, and because
Rahul, slides are not moving. Huh?
Okay.
There is a title.
Yes, sir. Okay. So various options in immunotherapy options in advanced NSCLC. We know we have option of immunotherapy alone. We have option of immunotherapy plus chemotherapy, and we have options of immunotherapy, chemotherapy plus bevacizumab. So what to choose and what not to choose. So right now, most of the guidelines say that if it is the PD-L1 is more than 50%, and if the patient is not so much symptomatic and disease burden is not high, we can use first single agent immunotherapy, and pembrolizumab is recommended in most of the settings. If the PD-L1 receptors is between 1 to 50%, then chemo plus immuno combination is accepted in most of the guidelines, and it is pembrolizumab plus chemo doublet, or it is a ABCP protocol. And third option, that is nivo plus EP. Only single agent nivo was not accepted, was not given FDA approval for the first line setting, but now nivo plus EP, addition of EP, and with this trial data, now nivo plus EP has given a very good option in first line NSCLC. So I will discuss that things. So now two nivo EP combinations or two trials and data are there. One is CheckMate 227, in which patients of first line metastatic NSCLC with PD-L1 of 1 or greater than 1% is there, in which EP is nivo and EP is given till progression, and in both the options, obviously no mutation should be there, no EGFR mutation should be there. And second one is CheckMate N9LA, in which this same combination nivo EP is given, but 2 cycles of platinum doublet chemotherapy is added, and in these patients PD-L1 expression is not required, and we can give even if PDL expression is 0 or we don't know the PD-L1 expression. So we will see both these trials one by one. So what is the advantage of adding ipilimumab to nivolumab? We all know these all pembrolizumab, atezolizumab, and nivolumab, they are all anti-PD-1 and PD-L1 antibodies, and they inhibit the masking of tumor cells by the PD-1 and PD-L1 nexus, and they act when the tumor cells try to kill the cancer cells. So that is the part when these drugs act. Now, if we see the whole sequence of tumor cells and T cells, and they act against cancer cells, it starts with when first tumor antigens are presented to our body. They are recognized by dendritic cells. Dendritic cells, they release tumor T cells, cytotoxic T lymphocyte activated cells, and then these T cells go to tumor cells and they kill tumor cells. So there are two parts. One is activation of the T cells, and second is T cells killing of the tumor cells. So only nivolumab or pembrolizumab or atezolizumab was acting on this second part. They were not acting on the first part. And ipilimumab, it inhibits anti-CTLA1, which diminishes the initial phases. So when we add ipilimumab to nivolumab, then we are enhancing the immune system. We are by two ways, initially increasing the T cells also, and then T cells killing the tumor cells also. So double effect will be there with the introduction of these two drugs. So what ipilimumab do, it does, it enables adaptation to evolving tumor by dendritic cells. It promotes emergence of memory T cells also, that is very important, and it causes compensatory increase in tumor PD-L1. And what nivolumab does, it enhances pre-existing T cell response and increase cytokine production, and it kills the tumor cells, helps the T cells to kill tumor cells. So we have both periphery action also, where CTLA is inhibited and increased T cells are produced, and we have action at the tumor microenvironment also, where T cells directly kill the tumor cells. So we have double enhancement of immune system when we are using the combination. So this was the CheckMate 227 trial, and it is a 4-year update. There were around 800 patients, 793 patients precise. Key eligibility criteria was stage 4 or recurrent NSCLC. No prior systemic therapy was allowed, and there is no any known sensitizing EGFR ALK mutations, and performance of the patient should be 0 or 1, and PDL expression of should be at least of 1. And they were stratified as squamous and non-squamous, so both the histologies were allowed, and randomization was done in a way of Nivo and EP versus chemotherapy. And treatment was continued until disease progression or unacceptable toxicity or up to 24 months. And primary endpoint was OS, and pre-specified descriptive efficacy outcomes measures included PFS, ORR, and DOR. So we see that both the arms were equally randomized. Age was almost 64 in both the patient, same number of female patients, and same number of performance. Both the arms were almost equally matched, whether it was histology or tumor PDL expression or other criteria. So what this slide shows that at the 4-year, the OS was 29% in the Nivo EP arm as compared to 18% in the chemo arm. It was 33 versus 22% at 3-year, and it was 29 versus 18% at 4-year. And in all the patients, whether squamous or non-squamous. And if you see both the histologies separately, in non-squamous, it was 32% versus 23%. And in squamous, it was 20% versus 66%. So it is a very great advantage in squamous cell, because in non-squamous, we have like what our general practice is, we give carplatin with pemetrexed and we continue with the pemetrexed. But in squamous, we don't have any maintenance options. So in this squamous, the 4-year OS, it increases from 6% to 20%. So there is almost 3 times increase in OS as compared in non-squamous, when it is increased from 23 to 32%. So both the histologies there is increase, but in squamous it is tremendous increase because we don't have any proven maintenance chemotherapy in squamous. One very important thing was that the patients who are responding in 6 months, there were out of them 70% were alive at 3.5 years. So if you see this long curve, and after 3 or 4 years, then we are seeing the plateau phase. That means the patients who are responding out of this after 3-4 years, the patient who are responding, they will be responding for quite a good amount of time, and we can have a rough idea at initial 6 months that who are the patients who are going to respond. So who are responding at 6 months, they are 70% of the chances that they are alive at 3.5 years. Duration of response of this was maintained at 4 years, 34% versus 7%. And adverse reactions. Adverse reactions, if we see in the chemo versus Nivo EP arm, as we know, as we see all the immune related side effects were more in the immune arm, like there were more respiratory pneumonia, there were more hepatitis, endocrine dysfunctions, nervous system problems, they were more in Nivo EP arm, and nausea, vomiting, and poor tolerance, they were more in chemo arm. But one thing is, like with addition of the 2 drugs, Nivo and EP, immune side effects we have to watch, because when we are giving only single immunotherapy, the side effects, immune related side effects are less as compared when we are giving 2 drugs immunotherapy. One very important this slide is that efficacy in patients who discontinued these drugs because of treatment-related adverse events. As we can see that even though patients who have discontinued because of the side effects, there were 44% of the patients who were overall survival at the end of 4 years. So even if the patient is not able to tolerate the drug because of the side effects, they have a very good response. So I think because of the hyperactivation of the immune system, they are having more side effects, and this hyperactivation of the immune system, which is leading towards the more survival of the patient. So we should not worry if the patient are having too much side effects and we have to discontinue the drugs. Even though there are the chances that the patients will continue to have effect of these drugs even after the discontinuation of the drugs. Okay, so these are the summary. This is the summary of CheckMate 227 trial, the combination of Nivo and EP. At 4 years, this combination continues to demonstrate durable long-term benefit versus chemo in PD-L1 greater than 1%, at least 1% expression with no new safety signals. 4-year OS was 29 versus 18%. And among patients with PD-L1 greater than or equal to 1, 70% of the responders at 6 months in Nivo EP arm were alive 3 years later versus 39% in chemo arm. So double the alive, double the number of patients were alive. And a post-hoc analysis, discontinuation of Nivo EP due to treatment-related adverse events did not have a negative impact on long-term benefits seen in all randomized patients. And approximately half of the responders who had treatment-related adverse events leading to discontinuation maintained their response for up to 3 years after treatment discontinuation. So this dual immunotherapy regimen is a novel chemo-sparing first-line treatment option for advanced NSCLC. Now the second trial in which this combination was combined with 2 cycles of chemotherapy in first-line NSCLC. And the basic idea was in the patients who are having no PD-L1 receptor, like if we are having a patient in which PD-L1 receptor is negative, then what we can do, when we can add 2 cycles of chemotherapy initially, then we can stop the chemotherapy and we can continue with the Nivo EP arm. So similarly, as in the previous trial, all the all the results were same, and there were very good response. The CLE eligibility criteria were same. It was stage 4, no prior systemic therapy was taken, and no EGFR ALK mutation. Performance, ECOG performance should be 0 or 1. And both the histologies were allowed, squamous versus non-squamous. PD-L1 less than 1 versus greater than 1. They stratified the patient. And in this, there was a little change in the dosing schedule. Nivolumab was given every 3 weekly. And this ipilimumab was given every 6 weeks. Ipi was also given every 6 weeks in the first setting also. And after 2 cycles of chemotherapy was discontinued, and the Nivo and EP, both the drugs were continued. And we have we can see both the arms were well randomized, and we have a data for 2 years, and 2-year OS was 38% versus 26%. When PD-L1 was less than 1%, efficacy was same. It was 37 versus 22%. And you can see in both the arms that if PD-L1 was less than 1%, it was 37 versus 22. It was greater than 1, it was 41%, and it was when it was 50%, greater than 50%, it was 45%. So there is obviously slight increase in OS when the PD-L1 positivity increases, but there is not so much difference. So if PD-L1 is less than 1% or PD-L1 is negative, we can add 2 cycles of chemotherapy initially, and that will take care of the initial response. And after that, we can continue with the response with the immunotherapy drugs. And the response was there in all the categories. What I found was that combining Nivo and EP, there were more side effects as compared when we are using single immunotherapy drugs. So we have to carefully select the patients, and we have to be more vigilant for immunotherapy related side effects. But these side effects, they were well tolerable, and with our experience with the handling of the immunotherapy drugs, I think we can easily monitor the drugs, and we can monitor the side effects, and we can easily tackle with the side effects also. To summarize, at 2-year OS was durable versus chemo, 38% versus 26%. Benefit was observed across key subgroups, including PD-L1 expression level and histology. And no new safety signals were observed for nivo-ipi for 2 cycles. And in post-hoc analysis, discontinuation of nivo-ipi plus 2 cycles of chemo due to transverse-related adverse events did not have a negative impact on long-term benefits seen in all randomized patients. And 56% of the responders who had treatment-related adverse events leading to discontinuation maintained their responses for more than 1 year. And this trial, CheckMate 9LA1, demonstrated that Opdita plus ipilimumab with 2 cycles of chemo should be considered as a new first-line option for advanced NSCLC. Dosing, as we have discussed, like EP was given in both the arms as a dose of 1 mg per kg, and it was given every 6 weeks. And if you are using nivo and EP alone, then nivo is in the standard dose, it is given 3 mg per kg every 15 days. And when you are using with chemotherapy, then you can give it 3 weekly with 360 mg. With these 2 drug options, we have now one more option in first-line metastatic NSCLC in those patients who can afford for immunotherapy. And for me, the biggest advantage is like we can sequentially use the drugs. We can use the immunotherapy first, and then we can use the chemotherapy. Because in the studies of pembrolizumab and atezolizumab, a pembrolizumab trial in which they studied that if the PD-L1 expression is more than 50%, then pembrolizumab alone is giving good result. But if in the subset of the patients when PD-L1 was between 1 to 50%, then there was no advantage of using pembrolizumab as compared to chemo. So in that 1 to 50%, we have to use immunotherapy along with chemotherapy. But with this study, we can use immunotherapy alone in subset of the patients in which immunotherapy PD-L1 receptor is more than 1%, and we can spare the chemotherapy for second line. So we can have 2 different class of drugs. We can use them sequentially, and hopefully our survival of the patients will increase. And maybe after some time, if the chemotherapy drugs in the second setting gives good response, then we may re-challenge the immunotherapy at the 3rd time also. So this was what I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. Excellent presentation, and you have nicely summarized the rationale for combining duo with their mechanism of action of anti-CTLA4 with PD-1, PD-L1 this thing. And you have also demonstrated the significant improvement in OS and median duration of response. It was very good that you highlighted the squamous, where we are having no much options as for maintenance, and there is 3 times advantage. And the last point was also very well taken, that if for any reasons there is a treatment interruption and treatment is stopped, the benefit continues. And I think not only treatment related adverse effects, but with financial adverse effects or toxicity also in India, many patients are likely to stop, and we hope that there is a continued benefit in this subset of patients also beyond 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years.